All right, it's Ted McGrath, and in this video, I am going to share with you my exact methodology on how I close 5, 10, even 50 clients at once with one presentation, and how you can do this in the next 90 days. So if you're stuck in endless one-to-one sales calls and you're coming home exhausted at the end of the day and you're like, I'm tired of the one-to-one selling, you're going to like this. And what if I told you there was a way to actually close entire rooms of your dream clients without the exhausting sales calls, without chasing leads, without unpredictable income, and also no more getting ghosted by prospects, no more trading too much time for too little money, and no more scaling the business where the more you scale the business, the harder you actually work. So if you're a coach, a consultant, an expert, a service business, a course creator, this is definitely something you're going to enjoy. And if you're already making $50,000 or more a month, this is definitely for you because you're burnt out or your team's burnt out on one-to-one sales calls. You're feeling stuck at an income ceiling, and also you're tired of working more just to grow. And if you're in that spot, then you know something definitely has to change at this point. And so you might be wondering, who the heck am I? I'm Ted McGrath. I'm one of the foremost authorities in stage and storytelling. And so the reason I know this is because early in my career, when I was 21, 22 years old, I got in the life insurance business. And I was in that spot where, I was doing one-to-one sales calls, one-to-one sales meetings. And by the time I was 22, I cracked 6 figures in the business. But, I overdosed from drugs and alcohol, and it's like, wow, money didn't do it. But I figured, wow, if I make partner with the company, I'll get respect and status, and all that will change. And all that happened was I took on more work, more responsibility, more sales meeting, more delivering to clients, and my whole model became one-to-one, and so much sales, so much delivery that I realized at about 27, 28 years old, I'm like, this is it. I need to go off and do something else. And that's when I discovered stages. And so the initial stages that I got on years ago are different than the stages today, because you can have in-person stages, but you can also have digital stages as well, which I'm going to get into in just a moment. So on the in-person stages, I learned that rather than getting in front of one person, I could get in front of 50 people at a time, 100 people at a time, 1,000 people at a time, and I could move entire audiences of rooms and getting dream clients signed up, whether I was on somebody else's stage doing a 90-minute presentation and closing them, or whether I was doing a 3-day seminar and I was actually having people to my seminars and I was closing them over the course of a weekend. But the same structure of presentation that I used on other people's stages, the same structure of presentation that I use on my 3-day seminars, is the same structure of presentation that I use online, whether it's webinars, whether it's doing podcasts, whether it's doing live streams, whether it's doing sales videos, the presentation structure is actually the same. And so the method that I'm going to share with you is how I went from burnt out on doing one-to-one sales calls to where I eventually took this presentation model, and the presentation model has been responsible for nearly $50 million in sales. And I've taught this to, 30,000 plus entrepreneurs now, with the goal of teaching them that even if you're going to go online, presentation is a huge component of success, where you can actually scale your business one-to-many, because one-to-many is different than one-to-one. And often people have this mixed up, not only in their sales presentations, but also in their delivery model. So there's a whole nother methodology for your delivery, but in your one-to-one sales process, you can be delivering presentations on all these platforms I'm about to go through right now, which are in-person and digital, so you can truly run your business from anywhere in the world. I was just literally this morning in Florida, and now I'm back in California, and I'm running business from coast to coast, right? And I can run from anywhere in the world. I can run it with an iPhone. I was running with an iPhone yesterday. You can run it anywhere. And also, when your delivery model is one-to-many, where you're actually delivering through group coaching programs or online courses, or you're delivering through seminars or virtual seminars, or you're delivering through high-ticket consulting or a hybrid of all of them, then you have a one-to-many model. So as you're scaling online and tons of clients are signing up because of presentations that you're doing, you also have to scale your business model. And your business model needs to be one-to-many, where you're delivering one-to-many. Otherwise, you're trapped on the phone delivering, or you're trapped in your office delivering services to people, and it's just you delivering to many people, or it's your coaches and consultants delivering to many people on the phone all day long, right? Versus in a group setting where it's one-to-many. So I know something about this. I also know selling from a different viewpoint and storytelling from a different viewpoint. I created a one-man play on my life story about a decade ago because I was up on stage, I was telling stories, and I liked moving people with stories. So I decided, hey, I'm going to tell my life story on stage. I produced a 65-minute stage play that was directed by one of my friends who was the Phantom on the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. And I took that stage play all across the country and the world. I performed in one of the largest fringe festivals in the world, did a 3-week run there, got great reviews. And so I don't just live on stage selling, I live on storytelling as well. And I believe that stage selling, meaning presentations, and storytelling is one of the keys to actually thrive, okay? So a stage isn't just a physical stage, and that's the first thing we need to get clear, okay? Some of the most powerful money-making stages today, they're not just conference rooms. They're actually online as well. So webinars and also virtual seminars are a fantastic way to sell. In fact, when I first went online years ago, after I was doing lots of in-person stages, I launched a 24/7, 365 webinar presentation that would literally sell $1,000 and $2,000 products like clockwork, and it would also fill up my seminars as well. So I had on autopilot my webinar running, and in fact, when I traveled to London to do my one-man play and get directed to actually create my first one-man play ever, I had a webinar that was selling 24/7, 365 on autopilot, filling my seminars for me while I was off doing one of my passions of performing and writing my script for my play in London. Hey, it's Ted McGrath. So real quick before we go any deeper, if you're looking to scale online through one-to-many selling, whether it's podcasts, webinars, or even in-person stages, and you need a personal growth strategy to scale, you can click the link down below, book a call with one of my coaches. It's totally free, and we'll put together a plan for you. All right, let's get back to the content. Okay? So webinars are huge. When COVID hit in 2020, I had a seminar model that was doing millions of dollars, but the bigger portion of my business was online. But we didn't want to lose 7 figures in-person seminar revenue when COVID hit. So all we did was switch the model to virtual seminars, and my stats went up 17% that year during COVID. So webinars and virtual seminars are a huge way to actually get your message out there. Live streams and YouTube shows. You go to my other channel, I've got just started doing a YouTube show over there about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And I get, anywhere from 3,000 to 8,000 views per video on that channel. This is a new channel that I've just created as well. But YouTube shows are a great way to get organic content out there. It's something I've started doing recently. Live streams is something I started doing like 9 years ago. And I remember about 9 years ago, I think I had a day of like 300,000 in sales from like these $2,000 products I was selling in one single day from an 8-hour live stream that I did. And we just were crushing sales. And that led to a $1.3 million online launch where we did about $1.3 million in a 2-week period. Podcasts and interviews. I was just on a podcast the other day with my new friend, John Lee Dumas. In fact, I was on his podcast in 2015. I was just on his podcast literally last week. He was on my podcast 3 weeks ago. And so podcasts are a great way to communicate your message and get your message out there with other people. And then, of course, you have automated sales presentations. If you're going to sell anything online, especially lower tier products and courses, automated presentations that are like 10 minutes long are a great way to deliver and sell products without you ever being there, without ever having a sales team, and you can just clock sales over and over and over again. We sell through automated sales presentations and obviously, sales pages online. We probably bring in, close to, 1,000 people, 1,000 buyers of our products every single month doing it. Some of them are repeat buyers, but to say about approximately 1,000 buyers, right? So we do that through automated sales presentations. So if you're still relying on the one-to-one sales calls, you're missing out on a huge wealth building opportunity through one-to-many presentations. So I would sum it up as this: one presentation where you present one offer. Now you need a high ticket offer. So high ticket offers can be explained in multiple different ways. If I'm doing it on somebody else's stage where I only got 90 minutes to talk, I'm either going to make an offer at about $2,000 in 90 minutes, or I'm going to make an offer to a free consultation. One of my clients, Alex Moscow, when he first started with me, he was 24 years old. He's like, Ted, I don't know what I want to do. I was like, I think you do know what you want to do. He's like, no, I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, I think you do know what you want to do. He's like, what do I want to do? Tell me what I want to do. I'm like, I can't tell you what you want to do. You know what you want to do. He's like, what do I want to do? I was like, tell me. He's like, I think I want to speak. I'm like, yeah. He's like, the only problem is I got a stutter. I'm like, so what? And I taught him, like, if you tell your story to people and you tell them when you first got your stutter, because you remember at 6 years old is when it happened, I said they'll take their attention off the stutter and they'll put their attention on your story. You'll take the attention off the stutter and you'll win. His first event ever, 10 people in a room, 71,000 in sales. But I also coached him when he got on another person's stage, which was right around COVID, before COVID. And I said, make a free offer from the stage, and this is how you do it. And that led to $100,000 in business because he was driving people to a free consultation. Super powerful. If you haven't had a free consultation with one of our teams, you should get a free consultation to learn the one-to-many stage presentation model. If anything that I'm saying right now is inspiring you, okay? So you have a presentation that you can use across all of these different digital platforms that I was just sharing, all right? And it's one structure. If you learn the structure, that one structure can be used over and over and over again because it's basically the same structure. So one presentation, but you got to have the offer. And so if I'm leading a 3-day seminar or a virtual seminar for 3 days, it's not uncommon. I was doing this all the time about 5-6 years ago, making $100,000, $200,000 offers from an in-person stage. We were also making $50,000 offers from virtual stages, like virtual seminars. So you got to have a high ticket offer, whether you're on somebody else's stage or whether you're on your own seminar that's a couple days long, or even if you're getting booked on a podcast or getting booked on a YouTube show, or you're getting booked on somebody else's stage, have a free offer. Make sense? Because free offers can lead to business as well. So one presentation, I know even for somebody who's brand new, could potentially lead to $1 million in growth potential wherever your business is right now. We got a lot of people coming to us who are service businesses. Some of them are making 7 figures a year. Some are making 8 figures a year. Some are making 6 figures a year. And they come and they want a more intelligent model of scaling, and they want the one-to-many scaling model. So don't take my word for it on, the presentation model. Forbes magazine said that public speaking is the fastest way to establish authority, build trust, and generate high-ticket sales all in a single presentation. That's Forbes, okay? Now, a single presentation, stages today, they don't need to mean just in-person stages. The model of stages like 15 years ago was like in a seminar room, in a conference room. Today, it means in-person stages, but as well as digital stages, okay? Grant Cardone also says the number one way to grow your brand, scale your business, and make more money is to get on more stages. One-to-many is how the big money is made. Okay, I know Grant, so Grant's phenomenal, right? Now, you might be wondering, so how do I actually do this in my business, or what's the model for you to get started? Might be your question right now. So I call this the McGrath stage selling method. Of course, my name is Ted McGrath. It's named after me, but I've sold a lot from the stage, okay? From presentations like this, I've been responsible for a big part of the $50 million in sales I was just talking to you about, okay? And this is more of a proven 3-step system for coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, high-level closers who want to convert entire rooms of buyers at once. And the first step, I call it, is the $1 million stage strategy. And what you need to do first, because there's a lot of opportunity out there today, is you need to pick the stage that you actually want to present on. And this is kind of a big thing for most people when they come in the game. Like, they don't know the actual stage that they want to present on, and they get confused as to what stages actually are. The first thing is, if you want to make money through one-to-many presentations, you got to pick the exact stage that you want and fits your business model, all right? So if you said I wanted to do a live seminar, that would be defined as an in-person seminar, all right? If you said I wanted to do a webinar presentation, or I wanted to do a podcast, that would be more of a digital stage. So you have in-person stages and you have digital stages. So you need to decide what fits you best. All right. All right. Quick pause. So if you're liking this and you want help applying it to your business, just click the link down below and you can book a free strategy call with one of my consultants. And these exact systems I'm sharing with you today, we've helped thousands apply them to their business. Let's get back to it. 10 years ago or so, I really was teaching a lot of in-person stages to my customers. One of my clients, Brandon Hawk, he decided he wanted to do in-person seminars, but he'd never sold anything from the stage before. And so I helped him and showed him how to fill up 42 people in a seminar room. He got 42 people to show up, and his first seminar ever, he did $221,000 in sales. And then he went on to go do $1 million in 18 months, and that was in-person stages. So you got to decide on which stage is a fit for you. Then you have other people's stages, like I was just sharing before, when I was coaching Alex Moscow how to get on other people's stages, he got on somebody else's stage and did $100,000 in sales. I got booked on a stage with my friend Raul. I was teaching him some stuff. He had come to my seminars, and I went on his stage, and in 90 minutes, I did a pitch and I picked up a $90,000 client, okay, in a smaller room. So you can pitch for the high ticket stuff, you can pitch for the lower ticket stuff, but you got to decide, is other people's stages your game, or is it your own in-person seminars that are your game? All right. I also know one of my clients, David Mailer. He had a chiropractic office. He lived in New York City for 20 years of his life. I taught him the stage selling method, and he then eventually went and did seminars, and he used this methodology, and he put 22 people in a room, and he made $141,000 in sales doing that. And he had never sold anything from the stage before in his life. His whole model was in his office in a brick and mortar business. And I took him out to more of a retreat seminar model and showed him how to repackage his brand from chiropractic to Man on Fire, because he wanted to work with men, and he crushed it. And then he went on after that using my presentation model, using my closing model that I taught him, and he went on and eventually took his business even online to his highest height of about $4 million in sales in 1 year. So he decided to go online as well. And so as you get to the online game, other people's stages in person could be other people's stages, but you also have virtual stages as well. And I just said this before: webinars and virtual seminars, YouTube shows and live streams, podcasts and interviews, automated presentations. All right. So the world's biggest brands and experts, they aren't doing one-to-one sales themselves at all. They're using stages, whether digital, live, or automated, they are using stages. Okay. So step 2 is, once you pick the stage, then you got to figure out the $100,000 presentation formula. All right. And this is the presentation formula that can be one presentation that you use over and over and over again that actually leads to lots and lots of revenue in your business. All right. And whether you're doing it on a podcast, on a webinar, on an automated presentation, on a live stream, on a virtual seminar, in-person seminar, it's the same basic structure. All right. And there's 3 basic things you need in a presentation. You need the intro, which you address the problem and the solution of the customer, and then you tell some stories. You get into the content where you teach them like 3 steps, and then you get into the close. That's all there is. You got the intro, you got the content, you got the close. All right. And there's many, many bullet points to this structured presentation, but if you figure it out and you know how to do it like clockwork, you will win, you will win, you will win. One of our clients that came to me years ago in about 2019, I think it was, his name was Mike. He was teaching people how to flip houses, and he was in the real estate space. And so he's coming to me, he's like, dude, my message is so messed up. And I was like, dude, what if I told you that your biggest problem isn't your marketing, it's your message? Because he was already running webinar presentations. I was like, what if I told you that was it? And he's like, okay. And we literally just started to recraft the messaging first. And from the message, the presentation unfolded. And he went back and he did his next webinar, and he did $56,000 in sales in a 90-minute presentation. Okay, another one of my clients who's an incredible marketer, and he's taught me some things in marketing. I said, dude, let's swap out. And eventually we actually wrote checks to each other. We traded checks, right? So he wrote me a check to actually teach him speaking from the stage. I wrote him a check to teach me some marketing stuff. And great marketer, his name's Ajit, and he went to go do a presentation, and I told him how to craft the structure of the presentation. And I don't think he'd ever sold anything from a stage before. And he got up there on a stage, and he did 6 figures in sales from that stage from a simple presentation. Okay. It was so good at the end of the presentation. I'm like, dude, that was amazing. That marketing thing that you just pitched, I need that. So I became a customer of his as well. Make sense? All right. So step 3 is, once you get the presentation down, which by the way can be formatted then for any one of these stages that you're on. Get one presentation, one structure, that's it. And you can clean up on presentations in your business. The final thing is the story closing system, which is something that I've developed. And so through my years of presenting and my years of also performing my own one-man play, where I play different characters up on the stage, which by the way, we're turning this into a film. The script is done. I'm filming the feature film. I'm playing myself. We're doing it in October, and the film will be out next year in 2026. And so the story closing system is teaching you high impact storytelling. And so when you do storytelling, there's 5 different stories you can use in the close. Now, most people think only of their personal story, and there's actually 5 different types of stories you can do in the close. And so one of them is a money story. Another one is a time story. Another one is a loss story. And so you have all these different stories that you can actually tell. Because if you're doing a 90-minute presentation, you can really get into stories. If you're doing like a 15, 20-minute presentation, even like this, you're not really going to get into storytelling. You're going to be more into like telling the events of the story rather than getting people into the mode of the story to where they really feel like they're in it. But story closing is so powerful because when you're on a stage and you're making a pitch for something that's $2,000 or $10,000 or $100,000, if you just keep telling people, go click the link, or go to the back of the room, it's not as powerful as telling a story about a real person who had objections around time or money or had losses in their life, and you tell real stories and then you start to handle the objections in the room. So there's a whole storytelling formula that once you have the storytelling formula, this is amazing as well, then you can apply it to each one of these stories. And it's the same freaking formula, okay? In fact, I was reading the script of my film that we're going to be producing soon. I was like so engaged reading the script because like up, down, up, down. I mean, it's my life story, but we just got done with the script and I'm reading this up, down, and it makes for an engaging story. So storytelling is powerful. It's what David used when he did 141,000 in his first presentation from the stage. Tiamo, who literally just texted me the other day, he did 200,000 after speaking to me and me coaching him at his next seminar. Raul at his first or second seminar, he learned his selling from stage from me. He did $200,000 at his next seminar. Alex did 71,000 in his first presentation. Kathleen did 40,000 on somebody else's stage. I can go on and on and on because the presentation formula works. Okay. So the first thing you can do in a situation like this is you can just do nothing, right? Think about it. You just go, hey, I'm going to keep grinding on the one-to-one sales calls. Totally good, man. You know, I'm going to keep sticking there with time with my family and taking time away from them and coming home exhausted, and I'm just going to stay stuck and burnt out. You can do that because some people are happy with what they call the simple model, but the simple model is often outdated. The simple model is often old, and the simple model is just simple in their head. It doesn't mean it's actually simple to execute, because if you're on phone calls all day long, eventually you get capped, your income gets capped, your time gets capped, and you get burnt out. So you could stick to what you're doing, and some people like to do it, sticking that way, making several $100,000 a year, or $1 million or $2 million a year, or whatever. Fine, right? Your other option is you can go find many people out there, because there's people out there that are really, really good at one-to-many presentations. There's people out there that are good to stages. What I would say about what I'm sharing here in this methodology is it's a different viewpoint I'm giving you. I'm giving you the viewpoint not only of somebody who's closed $100,000 and $200,000 packages from the stage, not like 200,000 in sales, but like people standing up wanting to sign up for a $100,000 check they're going to write me, even $200,000 checks, right? So I had my peers who used to travel in the industry to come sit in the audience and literally watch my pitch because they heard about this pitch, where I get people to stand up in a seminar room and stand for their dreams and literally grab an envelope and stand in front of everybody. And so the pitch to me is also a show, and you want to make it fun, and you want to make it not like it feels like ugh or oh I'm getting sold, and you want to make it overt, and you want to tell people that you're actually selling them, and you want to tell stories, and you want to make it entertaining, and you want to make it fun. Okay, so when we're making the pitch, there's music going off and people are jumping up and it's fun, man, right? So I give an element of the high ticket offer that most people don't. I also give story from a performer standpoint. I've been performing my play for 10 years. So I'm giving you storytelling and story closing from a completely different methodology. You're not going to find too many people who close high ticket deals from the stage and also tell story at the level that I do and combine it to story closing. All right. And, you know, I've worked with people on this story from like accolades of Martin Kove from Cobra Kai. Marty Kove's his real name. He's the evil sensei there. Came to see my show twice. And it says nobody's ever going to regret seeing that story because it's a real story, is what he said. I've had Joel Zwick from my Big Fat Greek Wedding. He's the one who actually turned me on to observing other one-man shows. He came to see my one-man plays. Like, the storytelling's outrageous, right? And then my buddy James from Phantom of the Opera was my director. He was a Phantom in Phantom of the Opera. So I'm going to give you storytelling from a different perspective, okay? So you could work with someone else or you could work with me. And so the option in terms of working with me is really simple. You just go talk to one of my coaches and you get on the phone and you have a conversation with them, okay? And so the goal is that you want to close 5 10, even 50 people at once through this presentation structure. And if you're looking at a model right now where you're doing the one-to-one, the whole grind, and you're looking for a one-to-many model in selling, then this could be the model for you. And if you're looking to scale your business also without increasing the workload, like this for me is fun. I like to present, all right? I love to present. And so I'm used to doing it on stages. I'm used to doing it in person on other people's stages. I'm used to doing it on webinars all the time. I'm used to doing it on live streams. Those are my methodologies for doing it the most, all right? And also, I have my other YouTube channel that you can go check out, where I have a whole channel on finance and crypto, because I have different things that I'm passionate about in different topics. All right. So what you're going to get when you're talking to one of my coaches is you want to learn the three things that I just talked about in summary. Number one, you want to get your $1 million stage strategy. What is the one that you want to pick? The one stage. And you want to start really with one and one presentation. Number two, you need to figure out your presentation formula of how do you structure a presentation so when you get on the stage, you don't freaking flop, right? And then number three, you just need to learn the story closing method. And that is also the methodology that you're going to use to actually tell stories, to actually close people. And that's the game. And that's the 1, 2, 3 punch. Now you can get into, hey, Ted, like, how do I grow audiences and how do I do marketing? Well, a lot of these things that I'm talking about, like webinars are marketing, podcasts are marketing, YouTube shows are marketing, other people's stages are marketing. It's all marketing. The question is like, how do I get booked, or how do I grow my audience? We've been primarily a business that's advertised for the last 10 years or so. I've spent about $13 million in ads. So I know something about attracting and growing audiences. I know something about getting booked on other people's stages. For you, you got to choose what methodology to grow your audience is going to work best for you. And you got to choose the methodology of stages that's going to work best for you, that's going to be most passionate for you. Okay. So I hope this serves you. And the recap is what I just gave you. And at the end of the day, one-to-many presentation is going to be a super, super powerful way for you to get your message out there. And also don't forget about the one-to-many delivery model as well. Because if you're going to sell a lot of people at once, at the same time, you want to be able to deliver to many people at once. So one-to-many sales and one-to-many delivery is the name of the game, okay? Hope this serves you. See you on the other side, and you guys stay very, very, very well. So if you're serious about scaling your business online and you want help with my one-to-many selling method to sell on podcasts or webinars or virtual stages or in person, then click the link down below and book a free strategy call. My coaches will help you implement it. We've worked with over 30,000 businesses on these very same strategies. Click it down below and go book. See you soon.